Is your old home outdated and in need of an update? Hey, don't worry. Today, I'm going to show you how to update your older home without any major remodeling, meaning no contractors, no dust, no 6-month renovations, just 10 smart upgrades that you can do yourself on a budget. Now, before I get started, here's my rescue dog, Daisy. We give to the rescue dog organizations out here in the Denver area, and I just wanted to share her with you. Anyway, let's get back to the video. And the first thing that you can do with an older house is paint. Yes, if you can only do one thing, just make it paint. It's the cheapest way to completely change how a room feels. And that outdated tan, that yellowed white, or those overly bold accent walls, go ahead and swap those out for some soft, warm whites or some light taupes, just something neutral, but really inviting. And some go-to colors I can recommend from the projects that I have done. The first one's popular. It's the Sherwin-Williams Alabaster, and always seems to be such a great color to go with. Also, another one is the Sherwin-Williams Revere Pewter. I use that in all of my projects and a lot of the rentals and so forth that I have. Just isn't that gray that everybody is tired of? And it just seems to go well with whatever lighting that the room is. And it just goes well with everything in general. And the other one I can recommend to you is Sherwin-Williams Accessible Beige, if you're looking for something like that. And also repaint your trim. That old creamy off-white makes everything feel aged. And getting some bright white trim, that'll just feel like an instant refresh. And also, if your cabinets are good quality and good shape, but they just look ugly maybe, well, don't be afraid to paint them. You just got to know how to prep and prime properly. And you can watch some videos on how to do that, or just hire somebody that knows how to paint cabinets. But take your time with this. Cabinets do require a little special attention when you're painting them, but when you're done with them, the finished product looks great, and you didn't have to go drop 10, 20,000 on some new cabinets. Now, another thing you can do is go around, change those light fixtures. And if that lighting in your home makes you feel like you're stuck in the 90s, your whole house is going to feel dated. So go around, swap out those builder grade ceiling lights, those gold vanity bars, or those brass chandeliers, and you can replace those with, say, some matte black flush mount lighting or some brushed nickel vanity bars. And I'll put my suggestions down in the comments down below. And also some simple pendant lights help as well. You don't have to break the bank on these. They will just add a nice look to that older home. And I've done this in many of my projects. Oh, and a quick tip for you on the lighting. When you buy those lights that you can adjust the temperature on, stick with that warm LED bulb, maybe around the 2700 range. It gives the home a cozy look. And again, these are all an easy update that just makes such a huge impact on that older home. Now, the next one is the doors and the hardware. And a lot of the old homes, they have that old flat slab doors with those gold knobs. And hey, you don't have to replace those doors if you're on a budget. Just go around and paint those doors, or you can even swap out for some brushed nickel hardware. And also, don't forget to upgrade those hinges. That makes a difference. I've been in some homes where they've painted the doors, they put some brushed nickel knobs on, and they left the gold hinges. And sometimes those old gold hinges, they even rusted a little bit, so they just look bad. Again, they're not hard to replace. Just take your time, but it will make a huge difference, and you don't have to go around and spend $200-300 a door replacing that whole door. But if you do want to go a step further, I suggest upgrading to a 2-panel door or a shaker style door. Just really modernizes the place. I'm a big fan of the 2-panel door. They're a little more expensive. I've used them in a lot of project, but those big visuals of those pay off, and especially in the hallway, because let's face it, in those older homes, the hallways are like dungeons anyway. And if you've painted, put some better lighting in there, and then you upgrade to some fresh doors, it's really going to make that hallway not feel like a dungeon. It'll just make it feel more light. The next thing you can do are the baseboards. And the older homes, if you have those skinny baseboards, they are a dead giveaway that your home really hasn't been touched in decades. And if you can't replace them, that's not a problem. Here's a little trick for you. You can add a thin strip of trim above those existing baseboards and caulk the gaps on those really well and just paint all of them the same color and boom, you're going to look like you have taller, cleaner, and more modern baseboards without the demo. It just took a little more time and elbow grease and it cost a little bit, but it'll save you from having to spend more money on all those baseboards if you're on a budget. And one thing I want to say, all these are things I have done and they're just opinions from me and other people. Do what you feel is right, as it's your home, you're living there. And again, you got to do what makes you feel right. And if you need anybody to help you with anything on this, my contact links down below. Anyway, let's get on to the next thing. And that's the outlet switches and thermostats. And nothing is a bigger pet peeve to me than these things when you walk into a home that has been fully updated and nobody has switched these out. Yes, it does happen. They'll leave those yellowed outlets and those toggle switches, and it just instantly ages the home. I mean, you walk into a house that's been freshly painted, everything's done, and you see these yellow outlets, and it just looks like the people ran out of money. And again, I don't mean that as you as a homeowner. I'm talking about a flip project. And if you're afraid to change out those outlets and switches, hey, you're not alone. A lot of people are. An electrician can come by and usually they'll pop those out, change them out for say $20 to $25 a plug and switch. Yeah, it could add up if you have a lot, but it's still cheaper and it will make your home look more modern and updated. And just switch to those white rocker switches. I really like those. And also those matching white outlet covers. And those things maybe cost $2 to $3 a pop, but what an impact it'll make. And especially if you have painted everything and the baseboards and the lighting, it just brings everything together. And as far as the thermostat, consider upgrading to a smart thermostat. In a lot of these old homes, you can still use these thermostats. I used one in my house. I live in an older home, and it just makes it feel more modern and updated anyway, to have, say, that nice Nest thermostat in there. And for resale purposes too, buyers just take note of those kind of things. So if you have that thermostat with the round knob on it, you may want to consider replacing that with one of those energy efficient smart thermostats. Now here's another one that's as big as painting when it comes to my opinion on things, and that's the flooring. And if you have that worn stained carpet, that's a deal breaker for buyers usually, and it can be a daily eyesore for you. And if you can't afford real hardwoods, well, they have so many options in LVP or luxury vinyl plank flooring. And I would suggest if you go that route, use a warm wood tone. Everybody's pretty well done with those grays. But again, if you like gray, that's up to you. It's your place. I'm just giving you what I see out there. But these new plank flooring, it's waterproof, scratch resistant. Some of that you can take a key, you can't scratch it. And it can be very affordable. But if you're on a tight budget and maybe you can just replace old carpet in the bedrooms, or I always recommend to people try to do a deep cleaning of the carpet to start, and maybe they'll turn out good enough that you can just live with that. But here's a tip for you on those old homes. Go grab the vent that is on the floor and pull that up and look underneath, pull up the carpet and see if you can find the original hardwoods underneath that carpet. I do not know how many times I've went into an old home that has that cool green, orange, yellow shag carpet, and I pulled it up and there were those original hardwoods that have never even seen the light of day. And just for a little bit of elbow grease, you can get those floors to look good again. And you may run into some areas that may need to be toothed in with some new wood, but if you find that right person to do it, you won't even know the difference. So maybe you'll get lucky and you'll find those original hardwoods underneath. Now, another thing you can go around and do in that older home is replace those faucets and the sink fixtures. Those old faucets, they just equal an old vibe. And it's that simple. And the modern faucets are one of the easiest swaps that you can do yourself. And you may want to go with a matte black for more of a bold look. Again, brushed nickel for classic. I always think brushed nickel is always the safe play, but you can give me some comments about that. And some people like the bronze look if you want a little warmth and glam. To me, I don't know where the bronze is going, but you still see it out there. And again, if that's what you want, I'm not hacking on it or anything. It's your home. And make sure you match your vanity faucet to your cabinet hardware for more of a cohesive look. And speaking of cabinet hardware, that's next on my list. And whenever I'm meeting with clients to sell a home or whatever, if cabinets don't even have hardware, I always tell them to go get that and put it on there, or go swap out those old knobs and pulls. It just makes an instant impact. And if you don't have the time to paint your cabinets or anything, just start with that hardware. You'll be surprised. Again, those pull and knobs, they'll really set the tone. And I suggest going with maybe those long bar pulls, or those square knobs in black look nice. You can get bronze or brushed nickel, which again, I'm a big fan of, but they will make an immediate impact on your cabinets. Now, the next thing you can do to update that older home, go around and change out those window treatment. Window treatments can be actually a silent killer of your home style. I mean, go around, replace those yellowed blinds or those old heavy green drapes. And again, if you have those and you like them, I'm only giving you opinions with what potential buyers talk about. And usually I'll have my sellers remove those old curtains and blinds just to at least give that home a more open, bright feel. And it does help if you do that. But if you want window coverings to modernize, I suggest those faux wood blinds. You can go to Home Depot with your measurements. They can cut them there. There's some online places that can show you how to measure and you can order them. There are all types of options with that. Or you can even get those woven shades. They look nice as well. Again, just a good simple touch to modernize that home. But either way, all these will visually enlarge the windows and it'll bring in more light. And a lot of people feel like they have to go and change the windows out and everything. If they're not broken or seals busted or anything, just leave them alone, clean them up, put some window coverings up, and you'll be surprised just at the impact that those window coverings will make. Now, some finishing touches here for the last one to cover. I always tell people, go around, replace those yellowed bulbs or burnout bulbs with some of those new daylight LED bulbs. They'll, again, give that area a nice warm look and inviting, and it'll just really modernize it. And it's simple. And another thing you can do is go put some mirrors up in places. They make some good mirrors out there now, and they can actually make a room look larger with them. And I'll put down below some of the mirrors I've used on some of my projects. Also, the other thing you can do if you have flooring and you don't want to spend the money on it, here's another tip for you. You can go get some new rugs and you can hide some flaws. And no, I don't mean hide flaws if you're selling. Just hide those flaws if you're living in the property and really warm up any of those cold floors. But rugs can really set the tone as well. And you don't have to break the bank by spending it on new flooring. The rugs are obviously a much cheaper fix if that's what your budget allows. Now, one of the most important things you can do to really make the house look better, and it only requires your time and elbow grease, and that's a deep clean and declutter. And I can't tell you the times that just doing that to a home could actually, if you're selling it, make that home more appealing to the buyers by just doing this. I've had many comments through the years where potential buyers will say they went with the house just because of how clean it was. And also that decluttering, if you're living there and you just want to feel like it's a new space, take some items out, donate them, sell them, trash them, whatever. And I made a video on how to declutter, which I'll share down below, but it'll just psychologically make you feel better too, because let's face it, we all have too much stuff, and I'm included in that. I'll admit it right now. So anyway, these final little things will just tie those previous updates I talked about all together, and it'll just make your home feel finished and not having to break the bank with a full-blown remodel. So anyway, here's your no remodel roadmap that we covered. Go and repaint your walls and your trim, and swap out those light fixtures, paint those doors and update the hardware. You can fake your taller baseboards as I described, and go around, replace those outlets, those switches, and that old thermostat with the round knob. You can refresh your floors with carpet or luxury vinyl plank. Also update those faucet and sinks and add that cabinet hardware that all goes together, and refresh those window treatments. And again, you can get some rugs to put down on that flooring to help, and also deep clean and declutter. And if you do all this, you won't need to tear that whole house apart. You'll just need the right updates and in the right order, and your place, it'll look so much more modernized, and you didn't have to, again, blow your bank account trying to do a full-blown remodel. And again, with all these, you don't need a contractor. You won't need to take out a second mortgage. You may need a weekend. You may need a month, depending on your time. It's your time. And a little elbow grease and just some good choices. And also give me some comments on the one update that you feel that your home desperately needs, or share some things that I didn't cover. And also, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm new, trying to build this channel. And also, if you found this video informational, please share it with somebody you think could benefit from this. And also, please stay tuned for these videos that are coming up next.